Hello there. It's time for another Sky Chat with Sam. And I just wanted to do a quick check in. I've had a lot on my mind of late, and among the things I've had on my mind is this coming Mars retrograde and Pluto retrograde. I talk about the Mars retrograde at some length in my new horoscopes at unlockastrology.com, which originally I published at thecut.com. And I'll be talking about the Pluto retrograde coming up on next Monday. The Mars retrograde is on Sunday, this coming Sunday, March 17th, April 17th. And then April 18th is going to be Pluto going retrograde. My thoughts on both those retrogrades, I'll start with the Mars retrograde right quick, is that you can think in general that a retrograde planet, despite all the paranoia, the panic, and all the things associated with retrograde, is really part of a very important natural cycle where a planet is going under a transformation, a recalibration. And basically, you can imagine that the planet is like, all right, it's time for me to get new, just like we have a new moon, and undergo a new phase, a new aspect of its development in relation to the sun. So, to put it bluntly, it has a fuck it moment. So it goes like, all right, I'm going to let this go. And people have to kind of figure out whatever is connected, whatever the planet is connected to, they have to figure out more on their own. So with Mercury retrograde, everything that deals with getting point A to point B, whether that's in terms of commerce and communication or transportation, we have to recalibrate how we think about those things or how those things happen. So rather than going on automatic pilot with how those things go normally, you have to rethink those things. If you're always texting with a Mercury retrograde, then it might be time to get on the phone. With a Mars retrograde, there is a way in which we have to think about how we act and take action in a completely different way. We have to be a little more reflective, a little more thoughtful, a little more, I won't say dispensive, but rooted in how we deal with our actions rather than just all impulse. So that's something to be careful of. One of the things that's recalibrating for me this week is my workout regimen. So I'm recalibrating how I work out, how I think about working out, how I am thinking about doing things like this or doing sessions, all those kinds of things. Any form of action, I'm reconstituting. With the Pluto retrograde, that goes in a little deeper. Pluto is how we respond to the natural impulse toward depth. And I know that may sound a little like death, but it has nothing to do directly with one's actual physical death, we hope, but more so how we achieve a greater inner structure, an inner depth, an inner core of who we are. And so when we go into the core of who we are, that sometimes means dealing with things we don't want to deal with, our shadow selves, the aspects that we like rather put on someone else or something else. And we have to get more in touch and recalibrate how we deal with our grit and the gritty stuff, like grounds of coffee at the bottom of a cup after you drink it. The dregs, if you will. So between dealing with the dregs and then getting in touch with our sense and fundamental sense of action and how we assert ourselves in the world, there's a lot going on. So it might be associated with some delays in people taking action. I know a friend of mine who's a real estate agent was talking about how it's been slow in terms of business and things happening. I also have noticed in terms of my own business, things have been a little slow. And it's not so much about things happening to you personally as much as people may be a little more hesitant. So the key thing is to figure out the line between hesitancy, where you actually do know what to do, but you don't necessarily feel like you have the gumption, the energy, direction, focus to be able to do it, and really considering how you do things, which means you may not know exactly what you're going to do, but you do feel the need for action. That might be the positive way of working with and munching on this Pluto and Mars retrograde, digging deep within and then finding more structured, consistent, systematic action for how to move forward rather than kind of going willy-nilly here, there, wherever. So I hope these thoughts have been helpful in contextualizing what's to come with this Mars retrograde on Sunday the 17th and what we can expect with the Pluto retrograde the day after. Thank you, and be sure to subscribe to my developing YouTube channel, and also to check out the horoscopes and articles and the like at unlockastrology.com. Thank you.